Council, please come to the order. We'll be led in prayer by Alderman Zaro Karambaya.
Almighty God, we ask for your blessing upon the members of this council as we assemble here in the chamber to conduct the ongoing business of our city. With your guidance, we will strive to ensure that all our decisions are for the common good, and your inspiration will instill respect, compassion, and thoughtfulness in all our deliberations. Give us the strength and wisdom to lead by example as the people's representative, and that peace and harmony will mark all our proceedings and keep us faithful to the trust placed in us by the citizens of your community. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you very much. We'll be led in pledge by Alderwoman Jill Zuccardi.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much.
Excuse me, Mayor? May I? Former city manager of the city of Norwich recently passed away. His funeral was this weekend. If I could ask with your indulgence for a moment of silence for Charles Whitty. He's the longest-serving mayor in the city of Norwich's history. He later went on and continued to serve the Norwich Housing Authority. And Charlie devoted his whole life, really, to his home community. Even going far enough back, he was a rec director at Samuel Huntington School in the summer months when he was going to college at St. Bonaventure. He coached in the Little League programs. I know he was a coach of my own and my brother's and a number of people in this community. But I would just ask if we all could, for a moment of silence for Charlie Whitty, please.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alderman Nystrom. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, also, since Mr. Whitty, we did a moment of silence for him. The Reverend Jesse Jackson passed away. I'd like to consider a
Yes.
moment of silence for
Yes.
a man who led. Thank you.
Petition and communication number 1, annual report from the Commission of Persons with Disabilities.
I have a motion, please, to accept this.
A motion to be received?
Motion by Alderman Nystrom. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Alderwoman Jill Zuccardi. Roll call, please.
Nash.
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes. Yes. Alderman Kandabaya.
Yes.
Alderwoman Zuccardi.
Yes.
Alderman Nystrom.
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia.
Yes.
Mayor Singh.
Yes, motion passes 7-0. Thank you.
Number 2, resignation letter from Zoning Board of Appeals.
For the motion to this be received.
So moved?
Motion by Alderman Nystrom, second. Second by Alderman Nash. Roll call, please. Thank you.
Alderman Nash. Alderwoman Hayes.
Yes.
Alderman Kandabaya.
Yes.
Alderwoman Zuccardi.
Yes.
Alderman Nystrom.
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia.
Yes.
Mayor Singh.
Yes, motion passes 7-0. Thank you.
Number 3, annual report given by David Eccleston, the ratepayer representative for Connecticut Municipal Electric Energy Cooperative, CMAC.
Thank you. Is David here?
So,
Okay. I guess we don't have presentation. so
No,
we'll-
we
he
saw him.
was here.
He might be in the overflow room when they cleared the hallway.
Here he comes.
David, if you're in room number 335, please report to
Here he
council
comes.
chamber.
He's coming.
His way, Mayor.
Good evening.
Good evening.
All right. So my report this year reads a lot like it has in other years. CMEC is in a groove in a lot of ways. They're very stable, consistent performer for us. They're looking out for our best interests. That's the bottom line, but I'll walk you through why I think that's the case. So just as a reminder, CMEC's mission is to provide reliable, sustainable, and cost-effective energy solutions to meet the evolving needs of its members and stakeholders through joint action, public power advocacy, and leveraging benefits of scale. They do more than just buy electricity for us. They have expertise, and they're looking for different ways for us to produce electricity and get lower rates. Predominantly, though, they buy wholesale electricity. You can buy electricity the day you need it, the day before, weeks before, months before. You can enter power purchase agreements that are good for years. And they have a strategy where they buy when the rates are good so that overall our price is as low as it can reasonably get, and it remains reliable. They also produce electricity in niches. There's the solar garden that a lot of folks know about with battery power. When the market conditions are right, the battery's discharged to the grid, and CMEC makes money off of that, which lowers our rates. One of my favorites are the diesel generators over by Bacchus Hospital. Again, when the demand for electricity is high and the cost is high and the supply is constrained, the diesel generators kick in and Bacchus Hospital gets good rate for electricity. CMEC makes a little money off of that, and it's good for us. So there are a number of other projects, is what they're called. CMEC also buys electricity for some of the major consumers, like Electric Boat and Pfizer. So my mission was established in October 2017 to represent ratepayers. I'm supposed to be independent. I should be capable of supporting the board, the CMEC Board of Directors. Otherwise, I'm a full board member. My vote counts in everything except when Norwich Public Utilities and other members are figuring out which projects to invest in and money transactions associated with the utilities I don't get to vote in. But everywhere else, I'm a full member, and they treat me as such. CMEC really wants board members to participate. My commission continues to be to understand and challenge how CMEC makes decisions and how CMEC functions. I haven't done a lot of challenging lately because they've really established some best practices over time. And I question everything to make sure I learn things, because I learn every year. But they've had good answers to my questions. But overall, I want to know that CMEC performance results in reliable electricity at the lowest reasonably achievable cost for us. So last year, I served on 4 of the 5 standing committees: Budget and Finance, Audit, Legislative and Governmental, and Risk Management. So that meant I was scheduled to appear in attend 26 meetings. I made 21. I usually don't miss that many, but I read the meeting materials. CMEC does a really good job of getting meeting materials out to all board members, whether you're on the committee or not. So you're always informed. So I make a habit of reading them, and it makes full board meetings go pretty quickly. This year, I'm on the audit committee again, on the governance committee, which I haven't been on in a while, the budget and finance committee, which is the best way to understand where the money goes, how the money's spent, why electricity costs what it costs. And I'm on the risk management committee. All these meetings take place during the day, normal business hours. I'm happy to tell you my employer, Electric Boat, is still comfortable with me meeting my commitments to both Electric Boat and CMEC without any controversy. So the bottom line, what we all want to talk about is cost performance. So CMEC has continued to procure wholesale electricity at a rate significantly below the benchmark. We use Eversource as the benchmark. They're really the most practical alternative. And the numbers are not final yet. All the bookkeeping's being done. but the number I saw was they came in at 32% below the Eversource wholesale rate this year, which is pretty typical for CMEC. So, and the different assets, they add a little bit. They're anywhere from a few percent to maybe more, but market conditions change over time. So these different projects that CMEX has, they look at it at the minimum every 2 years to make sure that the pro forma is still to our advantage. And the market conditions have changed such that some projects have been discontinued, assets sold off. They do that as a way to protect their cost performance. They're vigilant. I don't think they always go 2 years between evaluating projects, which is to our benefit. This is proactive behavior that is to our benefit. I got to tell you, and you may have read, the system operator for New England, ISO New England, is changing its markets rules, and as a result, we have to be ready to adapt and adopt. CMEC is fully aware, and they're tracking it very closely, which is, again, in our best interests. So the budget. CMEC comes up with the budget every year, and we track it every board meeting. We look at how they're doing compared to the budget. The budget is useful to Norwich Public Utilities so they can figure out what the costs are going to be on a monthly basis, and they can figure out whether the rate that they're charging their people is going to cover costs. But it's a way to make sure CMEC stays on point and on performance. Building that budget ends up being just as important. You get to see what they're spending the money on. And I'm happy to tell you that every line item in the budget gets scrutiny. Nothing is an automatic carryover. There's rationale for keeping it in the budget. There's rationale for changing it. We go through about 6 meetings, committee meetings, every 2 weeks, going through the details. And CMEC has gotten better at it every year. We've really kind of grooved it lately. I'd like to point out that Chris LaRose was chairman of that committee for a number of years, did a great job. One of the things that we get with CMEC now is they built a dashboard that I can log into 24/7. So I can get to the data, I can drill down. CMEC publishes or updates the dashboard on a regular basis, and there's usually a note or an explanation. So not only do you get the numbers, but you get their assessment of the numbers. It's really a nice piece of transparency, and it's been ingrained in normal operations. It's part of the best practices that they've maintained over the years. Many of you are probably remember the legal issues from years ago in Derby Gate, and I say that's pretty much behind us. Mr. Meisinger, the CEO, Dave Meisinger, would probably disagree because there's still work to be done. There are insurance claims that need to be processed still. There's paperwork that still needs to be agreed to, signatures, maybe a court appearance. There's plenty of work to be done, but it's all on a path to closure, and it's on a path that's beneficial to us. We've been reimbursed for largely all of our legal expenses. I don't have a final number yet, but it's heading in the direction that I want it to, so it's a good outcome. The audit committee, every year there's an external audit done, and as usual, we get the result of an unmodified opinion, which is the highest you can get, nothing to complain about or no concerns. I note also that they did an audit of travel expenses and purchasing card expenses. And if you're in the accounting business, that's the worst area because people don't keep receipts, people don't keep track of expenses. There were no concerns, so that was a good outcome. Last year, there was a cybersecurity audit, and that's important because CMEC does their financial transactions electronically. And what that audit resulted in is a series of continuing reassessments and actions to be vigilant and upgrade their security, always be adapting to new threats. I didn't fully appreciate it last year when that audit was completed, but to see the continuing activity in this area is a good thing for CMEC security. Another good thing, last year when Hartford, when it came into session, it looked like it was going to be a really busy year. We were tracking a lot of bills, draft or otherwise. Ended up not turning out to be a busy year for us. But I do remember a lot of discussion about the Public Utilities Regulatory Authority, and CMEC was actually consulted by some representatives and people who are stakeholders in that process as an example of a good way to procure electricity for customers. I talk about the legal issues and how ugly it was in 2017, and now I'm telling you, CMEC is consulted as a good example for how to do things right, which should bring you confidence in what CMEC's doing. It does for me. Governance. I didn't serve on the committee, but like I said, I read all the committee meeting materials. I understand what's going on. The plan was to revisit the strategic plan. It's 5 years old now. It's more than 5 years old. But it turns out that a lot of the governing documents for CMEC didn't really reflect what they currently do. So it turned into a concerted effort that took resources to rewrite different committee charters and different documents that defined how CMEC operates. The result is what CMEC says they do is what they actually do. The documents match actual performance, which I think is important for public trust. But the CEO, Dave Meisinger, would tell you that it institutionalizes some of the best practices that have evolved over time, which I think is also true. Last item before my summary. CMEC has lost some very senior people to retirement, people who had 40 years of experience or more. And they're going to lose their head of finance and accounting, who's been instrumental in building transparency and making that process really work from my perspective. But and CMEC, you got to remember, is 30 people, maybe fewer, has been fewer over the last few years. They don't have a lot of depth. So if you're going to preserve that institutional knowledge and pass it on and retain the culture that you've built, you better be doing that in a deliberate fashion. Otherwise, you're vulnerable. So I got to tell you, CMEC's been doing that. They've made it a point to make sure that people are picked for succession. They know they're going to come into the role. They shadow the person they're replacing. And it happens over a couple of years because it takes a long time to pass on all that knowledge. So it's a very deliberate action. I also get to interact with CMEC employees twice a year at least. And I get to see how they're being brought along and how they're developing. So I got to tell you, I'm really confident in the way CMEC is preparing for the future, the way they're institutionalizing what they know, and they're managing succession in a way that preserves important values and knowledge. So at the end of all this, I got to tell you that CMEC consistently keeps their commitment to deliver the lowest reasonable cost wholesale electricity to the members. They are sustaining changes that have brought increased transparency and accountability at the board level. I continue to observe cost-conscious behavior in the CMEC staff and the CEO, and they are actively preparing for the future. That's my report. I'm happy to take questions.
Thank you, David, and definitely, I always feel much better after learning about your report that we are going in good direction. And you mentioned something about 32% that we are getting cheaper prices than Eversource.
32% less than, if Norwich Public Utilities were to contract with Eversource to buy electricity at their published wholesale rate,
Price.
CMEC is 32% cheaper.
Okay. Well, thank you for representing Norwich ratepayers as well. Anyone else have any questions at this point for David?
I know
Not
you
a
have-
question, but just thank you, sir, for your diligence and the very comprehensive report.
Any other comments? Okay.
Same exact thing, thank you. It's always a pleasure to see you, and I appreciate all the work that you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. Thank you.
City Manager's report.
Thank you. This is the city manager's report for February 17th, 2026. Meetings and professional engagements. During the reporting period, I represented the city at several regional, intergovernmental, and internal meetings, including Southeastern Connecticut Council of Governments, City Coordination Meeting, Norwich Community Development Corporation Executive Committee, stakeholder discussions related to the Community Investment Fund, Connecticut Conference of Municipalities regarding a federal transportation grant, and finally, Waterfront Design Committee. In addition, I held a press conference and participated in multiple media interviews concerning a temporary adjustment to fire service operations within the Yantic service area. This matter was previously reviewed by the City Council in executive session on Friday, February 9th. The adjustment was implemented exclusively to protect public safety and ensure reliable emergency response services for residents and visitors. Prior to implementation, extensive contingency planning was completed to guarantee uninterrupted emergency coverage. Emergency response responsibilities for the affected area have been reassigned through the Norwich Fire Department Unified Command Structure under the direction of Fire Chief Sam Wilson. This revised deployment model maintains service continuity while enhancing overall coverage through the increased staffing levels, improved apparatus availability, and strengthened coordination. The operation change is intended to be temporary. The city remains optimistic that continued dialogue and collaboration will result in a resolution that strengthens and stabilizes emergency service delivery. Throughout this transition, the city continues to work with regional partners to ensure response benchmarks, turnout times, and operational readiness are fully maintained. I have one addition. This afternoon, I and the city were served with a lawsuit from fire companies Yantic, Tapville, Ockham, and Laurel Hill.
Some civility. Let him complete the report. You will have your turn. Thank you so much.
That's all I have for that. Applause for my city manager's speech that often, so thank you.
Thank you. Council, do you have any questions for city manager at this time?
I think there's a second part to the report, John, on the back page.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have a back page, so you have to hear me for another couple of minutes. Public Works, thank you for reminding me of that. As of Wednesday, February 11th, the Norwich Public Works Department has responded to 9 winter weather events this season, 4 of which were significant storms. The most recent storm occurring on the weekend of February 7th deposited approximately 6 inches of snow citywide, bringing seasonal totals snowfall to 43 inches. Notably, 42 of those 43 inches occurred during weekends or holidays, significantly impacting overtime requirements. Approximately 260 tons of salt were utilized for this event and subsequent cleanup operations, increasing total seasonal salt usage to approximately 1,600 tons. The estimated cost of responding to the 9 winter storms to date is approximately $263,000. These costs exceed budget projections primarily due to the overtime expenses associated with the off-hour storm timing. Bulky waste pickup. February bulky waste pickups are currently underway. A total of 125 pickups were scheduled for this cycle, which began on February 2nd and will continue until completion. Finally, Youth and Family and Recreation Department. With the support of a grant from the Chelsea Groton Foundation, the Youth, Family, and Recreation Department distributed 100 Burr bags through the community via kindness pantries across Norwich. These cold weather care packages include hats, gloves, socks, scarves, a lip balm, moisturizer, and hand lotion. Additionally, the department introduced a weekly open gym program for children and teens this winter. While the children's program has been well attended since inception, participation in the teen program has grown significantly from 3 participants initially to more than 25 teens within 4 weeks. Finally, events, the NAACP Annual Sweet Potato Festival will be held on Saturday, February 28th, 2026, from 11:30 to 2 p.m. at the Senior Center. And I think that does include my report.
Thank you very much, John. Any questions at this time? Any comments?
I'm sorry, John, I don't have my budget with me. Do you have a rough idea of how much the snow removal costs exceed the budget projections?
At this point, it's a minor overage, but I'm assuming that we are going to have some more winter storms before spring, so it'll be more substantially over probably by the year end.
I hope not. And just a friendly administrative correction. Your report says the matter was reviewed with City Council in executive session on Friday, the 9th, and the meeting was on Monday, the 9th. So if we can
Oh,
make
I'm
that
sorry.
correction.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll just comment that I'm glad bulky waste pickup, we are getting good traction, and people are utilizing that. And thank you to Chelsea Groton Foundation for helping Norwich. Thank you.
Citizen comment on resolutions on agenda items only.
Thank you very much. I declare citizen comment actually on resolution open for public. Feel free to come forward if you have any comments on the 4 items which are on our agenda. You can come and make your public comments on the agenda items only at this time. Please state your name, and you'll be given 3 minutes. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Janine Gillette, and I am glad to be here in front of you today, speaking on behalf of the America's 250th Norwich, Connecticut Committee about the monument resolutions number 2 through 4 on tonight's agenda. So I serve as the co-chair of the committee, and our committee is so grateful to be working with the City Council. We have appreciated your continued support and encouragement as we work to commemorate the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. One of our committee objectives is to use history as a way to bring people together through shared experiences and shared public spaces. Toward that goal, we ask you to support us in our efforts to bring 3 monuments to our city, a Liberty pole on the Norwich Town Green, and 2 Liberty trees, one on Bean Hill and one at Howard T. Brown Park. Our committee chose these projects because Norwich has a rich history around both Liberty trees and Liberty poles. This history goes back before the American Revolution. Over time, Liberty trees and poles have been erected as powerful symbols of freedom. They're used as gathering spaces where the community could come together to express unity, civic identity, and the ideals of our republic. And towards that end, we want to erect these monuments in the city. We are asking you to approve our applications and so we can bring back these symbols and help us reconnect to this rich tradition. Thank you for your encouraged support, and we'll be back here next month with a longer update on our work on March 2nd. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Carrie Wall. I am also with the America's 250th Norwich, Connecticut Committee. I am the project coordinator, and I am speaking in reference to the resolutions 2 through 4, our monument applications. The Liberty pole historically has been raised in Norwich, on Norwich Town Green twice. Once in 1765 in response to the Stamp Act, and again in November of 1861 as a commemorative act. Bringing the Liberty pole back, we believe, will help Norwich remember its history, remember its fight in the Revolution, and serve as a lasting landmark for residents, students, and visitors alike. In addition, the Liberty trees that we have before you today, one honoring Colonel John Durkee for Bean Hill Green, and the second for Howard T. Brown Park, honoring the sailors and shipwrights of the USS Confederacy, which was built and launched here in Norwich in 1778. Again, this program, led by the Sons of the American Revolution, is an integral part, we believe, to our whole commemoration. And together with the trees and their dedication plaques, we believe that this will help residents and visitors better understand Norwich's direct role in our revolutionary history and our history as we continue to move forward. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Anybody else who would like to come forward and make citizen comment on agenda item only? Anybody else?
Mrs. Filbert.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Joanne Philbrook. I have lived on the Norwich Town Green now for in excess of 20 years. I'm very proud of my property. Over the last decade, I have approached Norwich Public Works, Norwich Historical District, and a variety of other entities within the city, advocating for the return of the Liberty Pole. I went so far as to offer to pay for it myself. And you know what I got? Go away. Go away. Don't bother us. So I'm happy to see that it is now coming forward, and I'm a firm believer that as long as things get done, things get done. But you need to know the backstory, so thank you.
Thank you very much. Anybody else who would like to make any comments on agenda items only at this time? Anybody in room number 335 who wants to make their comments on agenda items at this point? Anybody else who would like to make any comments on agenda items at this time? Last time, anybody else who would like to make any comments on agenda items? I declare this hearing closed. Thank you.
New business resolutions number 1, relative to the city manager being authorized to file an application with the U.S. Department of Transportation seeking grant funding in the amount of $10,040,453,000 from fiscal year 2026 build.
Thank you very much. I ask for a motion to bring resolution number 1 to the floor.
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Nystrom. Second, please.
Second.
Second by Alderwoman Jill Zaccardi. Any comments at this time?
Amendment to this resolution?
Yes. So I do want to offer an amendment, and somebody can make the motion with just one change in the amount. Instead of $10,040,453, which is in 3 places, and that's resolution number 1, to be amended to $8,366,597. If anybody would like to make that motion with that
So
change.
moved.
All right, moved by President Pro Tem Joe DeLucia. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Alderwoman Jill Zaccardi. Any questions?
Discussion?
Any discussions?
I'd like to ask,
1 second. I think Alderman Nash put his hand forward first. Go ahead.
Why?
You want to have any discussion? Sorry?
Why? Why was it changed?
So scope has been reduced, and now our application is much more favorable. And the portion of the money that we needed to match, we have that. So this is the correct number that needs to move forward. This is the amount that we need from federal government at this time, so we want to fix that and reflect that change. The 10 million is the total amount, but we need that 8 million something from the federal government for this grant, so we are only putting up that number that we need from them. Okay. Any other questions on this? I just want to highlight, this will be the 4th time that we as a city applying for this federal grant. It has come forward to us as RAISE grant before and maybe Tiger at one point. Now it's called BUILT grant. I do want to pursue this because this will give dedicated access to Occam Industrial Center, which is not just about traffic safety upgrades, but it will also make that project very favorable and much more marketable. So we look forward advocating to the federal government for this grant, and the new grant name itself now talk about investment to leverage development, and this is exactly why we are doing it. And we are advocating very hard to our federal leaders on both sides of aisle to get this grant, to make this project move forward and make it more marketable. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Kandabaya?
Yes.
Alderwoman Zucardi?
Yes.
Alderman Nystrom?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Singh?
Yes. Motion passes 7-0.
That's on the amendment and then...
That's on the amendment, so we'll go back to the roll call for the motion itself.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Kandabaya?
Yes.
Alderwoman Zucardi?
Yes.
Alderman Nystrom?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Singh?
Passes 7-0. Thank you very much.
Number 2, relative to the installation of a Liberty pole and a plaque to be placed on the Norwich Town Green.
Can I have a motion to bring resolution number 2 to the floor? Moved by Alderman Nystrom. Can I have a second? Second by Alderman Nash. Any discussions? Okay. Hearing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Kandabaya?
Yes.
Alderwoman Zucardi?
Yes.
Alderman Nystrom?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Singh?
Yes, motion passes 7-0. Thank you very much.
Mayor, may I make a comment? Just to thank Norwich Public Utilities for the donation of the pole as reflected in the resolution adopted.
Thank you. We'll add to the comments. Thanks.
Number 3, relative to planting a Liberty tree and installation of a plaque at Howard T. Brown Park.
A motion to bring resolution number 3. Motion by Alderman Nash. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by Alderwoman Sheila Hayes.
Who was first?
Any discussions? Yes, Alderman Nystrom.
I don't want to speak for our chair of the Public Works Committee, but we did review all these 3 matters this afternoon and gave it a favorable recommendation, if that could simply be added in.
Thank you very much.
A question. I don't know how much Princeton elms cost, but it's not listed in here. Am I reading correctly that we are not responsible for buying the trees? Perhaps, I don't know if you recognize the co-chair, or perhaps Public Works knows.
Oh, sorry.
I'll find out. I don't know.
Oh, so we are not responsible for buying those trees.
Okay.
And yes,
I may add, I believe they are being donated as part of the anniversary, as part of the Connecticut Society of SAR and American 250th. So the society is donating the trees, and we will work with Public Works to have the trees planted and plaques installed.
Okay.
Okay? And that's for the second one as well.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, I'll just make general comment. This is very important year for our nation, and I'm glad we are doing everything and celebrating our 250th anniversary. That gives people opportunity to experience through the tourism lens, as well as our local community can enjoy those celebration and connect with the history. Thank you.
First and second again, please.
So first was from
Nash.
Alderman Nash, and second was from Alderwoman Sheila Hayes.
Sheila, okay, thank you. Sorry.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Catabaya?
Yes.
Alderwoman Zucardi?
Yes.
Alderman Nystrom?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes?
Mayor Singh?
Yes, motion passes 7-0. Thank you.
Number 4, relative to planting a Liberty tree and the installation of a plaque at Bean Hill Green.
Very much. Can I have a motion to bring this resolution number 4 to the floor? Motion by Alderman Nystrom, second by Alderman Nash. Any discussions? Any comments? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes? Alderwoman Catabaya?
Yes.
Alderwoman Zucardi?
Yes.
Alderman Nystrom? President Pro Tem DeLucia? Mayor Singh?
Yes, motion passes 7-0. Thank you very much.
Citizen comment general, 30 minutes on non-agenda items only.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we extend the citizen comment an additional 30 minutes due to the large crowds that are in attendance tonight. I know 30 minutes extra may not be a lot, but I'd like to make that motion.
So in order to do that, we'll have to do suspension of rules first. And, okay, so we have a motion to suspension of rules made by Alderman Nash, second by Alderman Nystrom. Any discussions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Canabaya? Alderwoman Zucardi?
Yes.
Alderman Nystrom?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes?
Mayor Singh?
Yes, motion passes 7-0.
To make a motion that we extend public comment an additional 30 minutes.
Okay. We have motion by Alderman Nash. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Second by Alderman Nystrom. Any discussions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Canabaya?
Yes.
Alderwoman Zucardi?
Yes.
Alderman Nystrom?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes?
Mayor Singh?
Yes, motion passes 7-0. So we do have now 1 hour for public comments general. And at this point, I declare public comment general open. So anybody who would like to make any comments, please come forward, state
We
your
have
name.
Sign-up sheet there.
And we do have sign-up sheet, so we'll follow the sign-up sheet first. I also want to make you aware, we do have room number 335. So anybody, after making comments, want to sit there, that will give them opportunity to come here. And if there are 2 or 3 people who just want us to put their name together and one wants to say what they have to say in interest of time, we can honor that as well. So the first name we have is David Adio? David Addis.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor. I think you're starting off. Just to dovetail into what the Public Safety Committee did, was also that not only is it a 3-minute limit, but also that each person speaks 1 time so that everybody has a chance.
Yes, definitely. Also, I want to remind, this is not the opportunity.
Wrong sheet, sir.
Sorry?
The wrong sheet. This is the last sheet. Sheet 1, sheet 2.
Oh, so we don't have sheet 1.
No.
Also, I just want to remind everybody, this is not back and forth. I'm sure you all know. We are here to listen to your concerns, and we look forward for it. First one on the list is Matthew Simpson. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Matthew Simpson. Counselors, this is not just about a firehouse. This is about limits. This is about process. And it is about whether this city will honor the people who built it. For nearly 180 years, Antic has stood watch in this community. Generations of volunteers, neighbors who have left dinner tables, neighbors who left their birthday parties, neighbors who have left their own emergencies to serve ours. They raised funds themselves, they carried pagers, not contracts, and when the alarm sounded, they came, because it was their town. And the charter recognizes this history. It preserves the organization and the status. Key word is status. This is not open for administrative change without legislative oversight. What has happened, the events over the last few days, are structural change. They are a status change. They are not merely a functional adjustment. Unified command at the emergency scene is not the issue. Governance outside of authority is the issue. When the executive action materially alters a charter, protected institution, this council has a fiduciary responsibility and an oath-bound duty to ensure that action rests in firm legal footing. If documented safety failures exist, show them. If compliance directives were issued, show them. If the law authorizes unilateral removal, cite it. Because absent written authority, this is consolidation without legislative oversight. And that carries risk. It carries legal risk, it carries fiscal risk, and it carries taxpayer risk. Norwich has already seen firefighter overtime that reaches 5.7, 4.5, $3.8 million. These numbers are not abstract. This is real money. When volunteer capacity is reduced while overtime expands, the question is not emotional, it's mathematical. We are increasing cost while sidelining free capacity. This is not about safety. This is about authority and power where it doesn't belong. These volunteers are not a liability, they are an asset. They're an asset built over 180 years, an asset the charter protects. Each of you swore an oath to uphold that charter, and that oath is not ceremonial. It is binding. Oversight is not rebellion. Requiring documentation is not hostility. It is fidelity to your oath. And fidelity to your oath is not optional.
Please wrap up, Matthew.
In closing, I'd like to say this council needs to not allow our city to be open to litigation. Do not allow the actions of 3 people to change our charter and open us up to more liability. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next one we have on the list is John Rankwins. Please come over. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. John J. Rankwitz Jr., 23 Michelle Drive, Norwich, Connecticut. It's a terrible shame that the Antic Volunteer Fire Department has been shut down. They are individuals who are dedicated to help the people in Norwich without asking for anything in return while risking their own lives. They rely on donations and fundraisers since they are not paid. These individuals are professionally trained and totally certified to handle any situation that arises. After reviewing all that has happened, not once did the mayor of Norwich, Mr. Singh, ever try to stop what was going on to help keep the Antic Volunteer Fire Department. It seems like he could have cared less. Some mayor, huh? All he is concerned about spending money, and the taxpayers have to deal with the increase. As my father would always say with politicians, that they all talk promises and nothing gets done. One thing I'm also going to mention, I am still waiting after 5 years for notices to be sent out in the mail for taxpayers by informing them what is happening in Norwich. Again, another excuse because of postage. We are taxpayers and we deserve the respect of what is happening and deserve the right of what is going on with our money. Another thing that I keep complaining about all the time too, the parking situation. Forget mentioning the parking distance at intersections in Norwich. You won't do anything. Just be aware that you will have a nice lawsuit on your hands if I do have an accident by illegally parked cars. It's just a shame that for years we have had the same old city council sitting at their seats and nothing gets done. A change is definitely needed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next one, we have Christopher Kotu. Yes, please. Kotu.
It's an honor to be here tonight. I've had the privilege of serving the roads in New England as an alderman, a state representative, and a TAFL volunteer firefighter. I continue to serve our nation as an Army officer. In each role, one principle has remained constant. Strong institutions are built on citizen participation and public trust. Volunteerism is not a secondary model of public safety. It's a core expression of civic responsibility. Norwich understands this. Our hospitals, veterans organizations, youth programs, municipal committees, and civic groups rely on volunteers, even the bully busters. Thank you, Sheila. One of our proudest experiences was leading hundreds of local volunteers to serve as guardians for more than 1,100 World War II veterans. We flew to Washington, D.C. to see their memorials before it was too late. That effort succeeded because citizens stepped forward. Our volunteer fire department reflects that same spirit. 5 volunteer departments with more than 250 active members supported by auxiliary, cadets, and alumni contribute nearly 100,000 hours of service annually and have responded to more than 30,000 emergency calls over the past decade across our city. That is not symbolic participation. That is sustained operational capacity. Just months ago, the voters of Norwich decisively supported and maintained the volunteer mutual aid structure by a margin of 2,500 to 500. That vote was clear. Norwich has long trusted its citizens with major structural decisions, including charter revisions, bonding questions, and significant policy matters. When change is structural and permanent, this city traditionally respects the voice of our voters. When public officials move in the direction opposite of a decisive public vote, the burden of proof rises significantly. Over the past decades, the volunteer departments have responded to the majority of emergency calls in this city while operating at a fraction of the cost of the fully paid system. Under $5 million compared to more than $135 million in paid expenditures. Any permanent restructuring must account for the fiscal and operational reality. We are now witnessing abrupt structural transformation of our public safety system. Once a volunteer department is dismantled, rebuilding it becomes extraordinarily difficult. Leadership pipelines fade. Generational support disappears. Removing these departments increases permanent fixed costs that cannot be reversed. About to finish. If safety is the justification, then present the quantified evidence. What measurable risk reduction will consolidation achieve? What independent analysis supports permanent restructuring? Most importantly, engage the public and put this to a vote. Decisions that permanently alter civic institutions require comprehensive data, fiscal transparency, and public confidence. This is not simply about fire coverage. This now sets a precedent for how major structural decisions we handle in Norwich.
Thank you.
One more sentence, is that okay? Respect the vote, respect the volunteers. We are counting on city leadership to present the mutual aid structure that has served Norwich honorably for generations. Norwich is strongest when it empowers its people, not when it replaces them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Chris, for your service. Next one is Raymond and Garland, Reynolds. Sorry if I am saying your name wrong. Please state your name, correct name. Thank
Good evening,
you.
Council. My name is Raymond Rinaldi. I moved to Norwich 5 years ago from Sandy Hook. I served the community for about a year before I went to school because it conflicted with the Monday night meetings. Sandy Hook Fire Department is a very good department to volunteer services with. Newtown as well. They're all volunteer. Newtown has volunteer ambulance. Very well supported by the community. So when I heard about all of this, it kind of shook my mind a little bit. Like, why is this happening? You're shutting down volunteer fire departments. To me, it feels like it's a corporate takeover. And if you shut down all these guys, it's going to add on to your response time. I don't know if you all thought about that, but I don't think it's going to be a good situation. I think you should keep the departments, keep the trucks going, give them a little incentive. Sandy Hook's volunteer, but they get a little incentive from the town for their services. If you're a life member, you get a check, just like a paid fire department. I can't see why that can't happen here. Instead, it just feels like it's just not right to me. Totally not right. And I hope you guys take that into consideration. And thank you for allowing me to speak up. Sorry, I feel a little shaken, but just got home a few days ago from triple bypass surgery. So, yeah, it's a little rough right now. But again, thank you for giving me that opportunity. And the other thing that crossed my mind that doesn't feel right to me is this fire tax thing. What is all of that about? The homeowners here pay enough in property taxes. Why should we have a fire tax?
Please wrap up, Raymond.
I just want to put that thought in your head that I don't think that's suitable as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have as Joe McMahon.
Good evening, council members. My name is Joe McMahon, a lifelong resident of Taffville. My first 25 years were on Norwich Ave, and my last 35 years have been on Merchants Ave. And I am a proud member, longtime member of the Taffville Volunteer Fire Department. And as such, I am chairman of the Breakfast Committee. I just want to say the Taffville Volunteer Fire Department holds our monthly family breakfast the third Sunday of the month. We held one this past Sunday. And I just want to thank everyone that's here that came to support us. It was truly amazing, the most successful breakfast fundraiser ever. Remember, if you want to support the Taffville Volunteer Fire Department, the breakfast is the third Sunday of the month, Sunday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. And I would be remiss if I did not thank Rocky. Is Rocky here? Rocky hosts a radio show every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., 94.9, 94.9. Rocky is absolute thunder and authenticity. Thank you, Rocky. God bless you. And to the council, I would like to say thank you. Because of your actions last week, repossessing fire trucks, that action has such galvanized the community in support of the volunteer departments. Thank you for making our breakfast the most successful ever. And lastly, before I get to my short monologue, I just need to ask the council and audience one question. If you are here in support of the five volunteer fire departments, please stand proudly and clap loudly. Cheers. All right. The Taffville Volunteer Fire Department has assisted me and my family 9 times. Here's a few things. March 31st, 1978, my grandmother, July 11th, 1965, my brother Mike, age 11, was hit by a car in front of our home. I was a newborn twin. The Taffville Volunteer Fire Department was the first one to arrive and provide help. October 28th, 1973, a Big A explodes into an enormous fire 2 houses away from my house. My father was dousing embers, falling onto the roof. The Taffville Volunteer Fire Department was the first one to arrive and provide help. I was 8. January 1st, 1978, my brother Gary crashes his 1968 Roadrunner at Hunters Ave and Hunters Road. He lost 4 front teeth. The Taffville Volunteer Fire Department was the first to arrive and provide help. March 31st, 1978.
Please wrap up, sir. Thank
My
you.
grandmother died at her home. She was 78, I was 13. The Taffville Volunteer Fire Department was first to arrive and provide help. The biggest one, March 22nd, 1986. My lifetime family home, a 3-family, 3-story, 31-room house burns to the ground with 9 occupants at 5:30 on a Saturday morning. The Taffville Volunteer Fire Department was the first to arrive and provide help.
Thank you very much. Next one we have is Christina Parker.
I'm Christina, by the way. I spoke last week as well. I've been a first responder for 5 years with 5 different departments, 4 different states. I've been a part of a unified command structure. I've watched part of the process of how it happened and all the steps it took to happen. I've also been a part of a company merger where 2 departments have formed together. It involves lawyers, legal teams, and it involves transparency and an equal goal between departments. It feels like a lot of corners are being cut right now, and that is not unified or ethical. I believe that first responders need to stand up for each other. We are the people that are helping on the worst days of people's lives and the best. We hold the community together. Volunteers are important because not only are they first responders, they're members of the community as well. We do not only go to medical calls and fires, we bring hope to the community and safety even before disaster hits. We are your neighbors, your dentists, and your shop owners. Community is just as important as safety. Without community, are we really safe? I know that the Fire Chief Wilson said that his biggest thing was the NIOSH 5. For the people who don't know, in simple terms, that is improper risk assessment, lack of incident command, lack of accountability, and inadequate communication and lack of following standard protocols. To know how to fix majority of those 5 things, it requires proper communication and effort to fix. These chiefs have asked multiple times what it was there to fix, and Chief Wilson is not properly communicating what the issue is. The safety meeting asked, where was the transparency and communication about what was happening with the Yannick Fire Department, and where was the communication? I understand that it's not a fire ground or a medical call. We're worried about the safety of Yannick and our other volunteer fire districts, though, and it seems that the chief is not following his own advice of transparency and risk assessment and accountability.
Please wrap up, Christina.
I am a big advocate for safety, and Connecticut has been the safest fire department that I've worked for. due to training and accountability from my department in communication. We all have a place in the community, a role, a task. Let us do our job and keep our people safe. Thank you.
We have is Presu Babi, 15 Shoals Avenue.
Maybe it's across the hall.
Okay, I think, may come in, yep.
My name is Priscilla Babbitt. The 100-year flood that happened in Norwich was devastating. The Yannick Fire Department, I can't praise enough. They were there. They actually stayed in front of my home until the water receded. They couldn't put it anywhere because I lived by a brook, and the brook was overflowing. And it's not the first time I've had an encounter with them. They are professional, they're volunteers. They were polite, and I can't thank them enough.
So I'm next
Thank
on the
you.
list, if I can
Yes,
just
please.
continue.
Please state your
So,
name.
Kelly Babbitt. I live near the waterfall. My mother does live in the Yannick Fire Department District, the volunteer fire department. Look at council, I've never.
Please speak in the mic.
I've never come to a council meeting, either have my mom. This is how much this matters. 3:30 in the morning, the Yannick Fire Department, the volunteers show up at her house in 30-degree weather to pump her house out. Because unfortunately, she lives in Norwich Town where it keeps flooding, keeps flooding, keeps flooding. And I'm gonna say it, Norwich doesn't do anything about it, okay? But the volunteer fire department shows up every time. I know you all have a tough job, right? But hear these stories. This is your community. So I'm going to ask every firefighter and their family to stand up, because this is the community. These are the people that you're doing this to. I can't do that. But I want, Mayor, with due respect.
I just want to remind, we only have 1 hour. I think it's in best interest if a lot of people get opportunity to speak.
Yeah,
We are not even on our first page,
Right.
half of it,
And I
so
would have been
thank
the
you.
second person, I'm going to finish this within the 3
Thank
minutes,
you.
so it can move on. But this is your community. And how this was handled was totally inappropriate. And city manager, when you go on a news station and you make the comment that Norwich, the Yannick Fire Department, did not ask for an extension, but if they did, you would have given it to them, stop playing games.
Slanderous.
On the list is Lynn Maher. Thank you. Please state your name properly.
Road.
Thank you.
Public safety versus power. If this little game of I Spy on the little guy is truly about safety, then why is my mom sitting here with a black eye and stitches? It's because someone didn't recognize the lack of lighting to entrance of Chelsea Bank. The same person who continues to preach the NIAS 5 rules would have unified command over the industrial park, schools, Backus Hospital, Phelps Dodge, Norwich Town Convalescent Home, and Mall, with little to no official training specific to those facilities to protect the buildings or his firefighters. From a NIAS standard, doesn't that make the Yannick chief more qualified for operational success? Again, safety or authority. People are human and make mistakes, but instead of using them as learning opportunities to improve the process, volunteers are devalued and targeted by an outsider. If what Norwich wants is a dictatorship, then they have the right person with his directives and takeover attitude. If leading by example is what the people want, then there's a lot of work to be done moving forward. We keep hearing emotion versus facts. Fact, volunteers dedicate hours of preparedness training for successful outcomes with little risk. Fact, the people voted no to this takeover in 2023. Fact, 36 Town Street was because of a bruised ego. Fact, people don't move because they don't feel safe with volunteers. They are driven out because of taxes. Fact, a very hostile environment has been created since Wilson's arrival. Lastly, Being a bully will never get your name on the side of a fire truck. The disrespect and erasing of 70 years of sacrifice and dedication, putting community before family, is like throwing a tissue away to you. There are no words. And that is my father, 70 years. So.
Next one is Pat Stoles. And after that, we have Ron Stoles.
Pat Stoll, Sunnyside and Yannick. For over 70 years, I have been involved in the Yannick Fire Engine Company. I can remember selling Christmas trees on our lawn in Norwich town. Members were in and out of our house like family. I have been a member of the Yannick Fire Company Women's Auxiliary for 63 years, as well as my daughter for 35. My brother, husband, and nephew have all been chiefs. Very hard to forget all this, and also very hard seeing members of the city council having such hatred toward Yannick. I live right in back of the firehouse, and God forbid if I have a structure fire. Yannick's 4 trucks that will take minutes to arrive are not available. Why they would take them away, nobody will understand. There'll be 1 fire truck in Norwich town, but all the other fire trucks will be coming from miles away. Shame on John Salamone and a handful of people that would possibly let this happen. You have one that's not even in the town of Norwich. His pocket, and his hands is not in his pocket. He's not paying a penny toward our taxes. I would have thought you would remember last year what the people went through with the increase in all the taxes. This is risking lives and a potential for many lawsuits, and I will be the first if I have a structure fire. And taking those trucks away with about 25 men compared to 3. In closing, I have 2 questions that the taxpayers deserve to know the answer. What is going to happen to the 2 battalion chiefs that verbally abused a Norwich resident and the firemen that spent time on duty cleaning roofs? They should be suspended without pay or fired, but it will all be swept under the carpet. And the second question is, why is Yannick the only firehouse to be shut down when not one other firehouse signed that paper? Joe DeLucia, I think you can give us an answer for that because you're right behind this for several years. And we want answers.
Wrap up. Please wrap up. Thank you. And no comments towards one single member. You are here to talk to council as a whole. Thank you.
On the console.
Thank you. Ron?
Good evening. Good evening, Ron Stoltz, past Chief Yannick Fire Company, Sunnyside, West Road, Yannick. September 4th, 1956, I was voted into the Yannick Fire Company at age 16 to serve my community proudly. February 10th, 2026, at 10:02 a.m., doomsday, thrown under the bus after 70 years of active service to the Yannick Fire Engine Company, Town Consolidated District, CC, and surrounding communities. Also, I add that the first 6 members of Yannick have served 323 years of active service to this community. The disrespectful Chief Wilson you hired decided to shut the Yannick Fire Company down because we didn't follow his petty orders, but won't come out and tell anyone what we did wrong. You hired him to be our new fire chief, and his power trip is destroying the volunteer fire service in the town of Norwich. Did you do any background checks on him, as he was the 3rd on the list of applicants? You skipped over a very qualified battalion chief who would have done a great job as a Norwich chief. I'm not looking for any recognition of what I chose to do for the last 70 years, but a little remembrance of those years. along with the retired Norwich Fire Lieutenant Tom Lafreniere, 97 years old. I am probably one of the last active firefighters to fight the disastrous fire at Van Tassel Warehouse that claimed the lives of 4 of our brother firemen on April 3rd, 1962. The aftermath looked like a mini 9/11. That date is in my phone, and I remember that day and the fallen firemen each year. In 1961, September 10th, along with other firemen, was on the roof of the Otis Library, the old Otis Library, trying to save the Gilbert Furniture Building next door. April 18th, 1962, pumped our 39 Diamond T from draft on the 5th Street Canal to help save the U.S. Finishing Company building. Spent many days helping the people and businesses in the community when the Yannick River flooded Yannick and Norwich Town in June 1962. I can go on, but our service to the community doesn't mean anything to Chief Wilson, who only cares about spending money with no limit to raise taxes and blame the volunteers for everything but his people do no wrong. He doesn't live in Norwich or pay taxes here. Mayor Singh, where are you when all this is going on? You were one of the ones who hired him. I think with all the comments of the public safety meeting tonight, you should realize how the citizens feel. You are paying 3 men 24 hours a day overtime to do what we do for no cost. City Manager Solomon, you are Du's boss, and I think it's about time you get control of this and squash Chief Wilson's ego and power trip and get things back to normal. Put the apparatus back in Yannick. Let us do what we've been doing for 179 years. Thank you for everyone who attended the public safety meetings and tonight for your support of us, especially the members and the auxiliary of the fire company.
Thank you. This is Ashley Nicholas from Yantic. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashley Nicholas. I'm a member of Yannick Fire. Across the country, thousands of communities don't rely on big city fire departments. They rely on their neighbors. Time and time again, we learn in life that it truly takes a village. The people, they rely on the painters that leave work, the electrician who stops pulling wire, and the parent who leaves their birthday party with their family to go protect somebody else's kids. That's what a volunteer firehouse represents. Not just a building with trucks, but a promise that help will come even when it isn't at a convenient time for us. Paid firefighters have the luxury of having a set shift when the volunteers catch tones at any given moment. For some reason, the city has stopped caring about that. The sacrifice of friends, work, and the time that is put into serving the community for free day in and day out is a luxury that this city has and chooses to dismiss. Fortunately for us, the community hasn't forgotten. So tonight, I present to the council a copy of the online petition to keep the Yannick Fire Department operating that has been circulating with over 2,000 signatures, and that petition continues to grow. I hope with seeing how strongly the community and the taxpayers of this community have the backs of us volunteers that you choose to reopen the Yannick Fire Department. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll make sure these are part of the minutes. And next one is the James Cregnan.
Hello, my name is James Carrigan. I'd like to read a passage to you from John 15:12. This is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. These people take that seriously. It's not just a breakfast, and Joe, I thank you for the breakfast in Taffel. I've been enjoying it for 2 years now.
You're welcome.
When you're on a limit limited income, it really does help. That quote by Jesus, take it to heart. How many people put themselves on the line and do it voluntarily? These people, I'm proud to call them my friends. I return the rest of my time to the next speaker.
Thank you very much. Next one is Robert Allen.
Robert Allen, Chief of the Yannick Fire Engine Company. Good evening, Mayor, City Manager, City Council. Tonight, the Yannick Fire Engine Company is still shuttered. Tonight, the Yannick Fire Engine Company bays are still empty. While we sit there empty, the city is running at a cost of over $3,000 a day to provide just one truck. That's our money. To the District of Yannick. And as Sam Wilson has said numerous times, he does not care what it costs. That should scare each and every one of you. It took him over a week to mention what Yannick did wrong that would warrant such a shutdown. Myself and Chief Blanchard sat in his office, talked about the issues that were at hand. We left there, shook hands, everything was good. And evidently after that, he had a come to Jesus moment and decided it wasn't good enough, and he had to take us down. He didn't even have the decency to contact me via email, phone call, or anything. When it comes to taking our trucks, I was given a summons the next day after he accused me and the fire company for locking them out and not giving them access to the trucks. We were never told that they were even coming. It took John Salamone a simple phone call to me, and that was resolved that day peacefully. Right now, the divide that Sam Wilson has created in the fire service is irreparable as long as he is here. That man has got to go. That's right. His devious actions and the plans that he puts in place in Norwich are the same things that he did in Wallingford, and we can verify that there with fellow Wallingford firefighters. The other fire departments got their agreement, and I would just like to ask the council, or if anybody can answer, what is their timeline to sign it? I'm asking you, John Salamone, to put the Yannick Fire Engine Company back in service immediately. Thank you.
Have is Tim Jenks. Tim Jenks, Chief, for Taffville.
Tim Jenks, 32 Providence Street, Taffville, Connecticut. I stand before you tonight as a lifelong resident of Norwich, 37-year volunteer, 25-year officer, 18 years chief, 25 years as a career firefighter. Currently the assistant chief of a combination department. The city of Norwich has spent thousands of dollars of training its volunteers. We're not like the Flintstones. We don't jump on the truck and go to Joe Rockhead's firehouse for buildings that don't burn. The fire companies themselves dedicate hundreds of hours to the communities. Every firehouse. Taffville, we do community movie nights where everybody knows that the village of Taffville is a distressed community. So we provide movies for children during the summer months. We assist our veterans groups. We assist the schools across the street. And the younger guys even go out and assist our senior citizens. That's what the fire company does in the village of Taffville. And there isn't a volunteer fire company across the country that doesn't do that. This last winter storm, the guys staffed the house. I was working. 379 man-hours for free. Do the math. The volunteer fire system saves tens of millions of thousands of dollars. The McGrath study was done by a third-party vendor, and probably the most glaring thing that came out of that study was, I believe, in the opening 2 paragraphs, when it said, volunteerism as a whole is down nationwide, except in Norwich. We're bucking the national trend. And that is the thank you the volunteers get today for bucking the national trend, dedicating thousands of hours every year. We get treated like second-class citizens. Over the years, we've had many large incidents, too many to list. I asked the City Council to step in, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Salamone, reopen the Yannick Fire Engine Company so that we can get back to business.
Next one, we have Chris Crenell.
Good afternoon. My name is Chris Craney. I'd just like to say this has been the biggest showing of disregard to the very people that elected you all in the positions that you have. You took what they did for you and basically slapped them in the face with it for greed and for power. You skipped over an internal hire, one current battalion chief who is a great source of information, and you skipped over him for this outsider who is dividing us all. The emotionally driven decision that Mr. Wilson made not only affects this community, but New London County as a whole. This shows me that I do not believe that he is fit for duty and should be taken out of his duties before furthering his destruction of this great community. And with that, I know there's other people involved and not just him. Public Safety Council as a whole needs to rethink their priorities. The corruption runs deeper than anything here and has no place in public safety. This is not, and for clarification, this is not unified command, what Mr. Wilson claims. That is a dictatorship that is being forced upon us. The dog and pony show you see and hear coming from his mouth is just that. There is no substance to what he says. It is all a smokescreen for their backdoor agendas to be pushed. It is not right. May God be with you and guide you back on track. Thank you.
Brandon Ferguson. After that, we have Joe Murray.
How you doing? My name's Brendan. I started back with Yantic about a year ago now, and I'm proud to say I am a proud Yantic firefighter. You guys cannot stop that from me. The amount of knowledge that I have gotten from these people in that department is, I don't even have a word for it. I have a question and it gets asked. And all I hear all over social media and everything is that volunteers are not certified firefighters. That is a bunch of crap. We are certified. I am one of 5 members in Yantic that are in the Fire 1 class right now to further my knowledge and my training. And you guys just come in and shut us down and basically say, we don't believe in you. Now that I've told you where I come from with the Yantic, I want to say, in the city of Norwich, you're telling me that you took 1 truck and gave it to us to cover the station. What happens if that 1 truck is on a call and my house catches fire? I now have to wait 13 to 15 minutes for another fire engine to get there. Well, guess what? My house is going to be burnt down by then. And that's all on your hands. That is on your hands that my house went down. You guys all say that you want Norwich to be built up. You want more people to come in here. You're pushing them out with what you're doing. We're the Rose City. That rose is wilting. And it's all because of you guys. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Next Next one is Joe Murray, and we have 15 minutes left out of our 1 hour.
Good evening. I just would like to take a few seconds to thank all you guys, because you basically left Mr. Salamone, who's also fallen asleep in this meeting, and Mr. Wilson to make decisions about this whole, what's going on in the whole city. We had a call today in Yannick that the city responded to with 3 engines and a tower truck. Fantastic, and engine 4. I think engine 4 was the 3rd. One little truck sat down here in the city of Norwich, and that was the Greenville engine. Where it was, I have no idea. But if there was a fire down here and the CCD is paying for those guys to stay down here, shame on you. Shame on you and shame on him. Yep. I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm not going to call him Chief Wilson. I'll call him Mr. Wilson because he's not my chief. My chief is from Yannick, and his name's Robert Allen. Mr. Wilson states that he is promoting public safety, okay? His issue, his agreement that he sent down, or contract, however you want to look at it, or you sent it down, puts him in total control, basically giving the fox control of the hen house. Look at it, everything in there. He can change it any time he wants. An agreement that nobody on this council would sign. I know if the legal person on this council would look at that and say, if she was representing us, you're not going to sign that. He has put such he has brought to the city a split, a divide, and absolutely no trust. When you take fire trucks out of the people that are paying taxes in the city of Norwich and say, we're going to move them and hide them, we're going to do all this stuff, that is absolutely no trust for the volunteers. And these are the citizens that are here, not what you have there. This is never going to be able to repair. You're never going to repair what the damage is done by these 2 gentlemen right here and the city council that are behind this. I want to tell you that I was lucky enough to go to a firefighting conference last Friday, which I paid on my own because we have no funds in the city of Yannick, but I paid to go to this conference. When I was up there in Middlesex County, I was listening to a lot of things. I got more support from paid and volunteer company chiefs and officers that were there that couldn't believe what was going on in the city of Norwich. This is the joke of Connecticut right now. Today, your governor had an announcement today. Do any of you know what the governor brought up today? Trying to increase volunteerism and for police and fire, trying to get more people involved. Not the city of Norwich. Let's put 58 guys on the sideline, and you know what? Not having any authority at all to what they were doing, I believe. And we'll find that out, obviously. At this conference, like I told you, we had overwhelming support. Our discussion up there ended up to be a NIAS discussion, which Chief Wilson hangs his hat on.
Please wrap up,
Guess
Joe.
what?
Thank you.
It was coming up, and I'm just going to tell you the definition on my way out. I wish I had more time. But our discussion on NIAS 5, which Mr. Wilson hangs his hat on, is common safety failures, not mandatory checklists for every day. And it says in firefighting, it serves as a framework for preventing accidents rather than legal and daily rules. And you guys
We have is David Adios and Jan Adis.
That's down to you.
Okay.
Dave, that's to you.
When you stir up a hornet's nest, you best not think that those hornets are going to come out of their hive and sting every single one of you. This room should have been about all these guys in here, every last one of them. We need the Yannick Fire Department to be restored whether you like it or you don't like it. Nobody's asking you. We are telling you. Now. Not tomorrow, not the month after, right now. And the other thing I'm going to drill you for is this ridiculous tax bill that I've gotten here. For nearly $4,000? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This goes to show me that this town doesn't respect anybody, and you can't figure out why everybody is still leaving here. They are not going to stay here. They are not going to conform to your ridiculous taxes. You need to start thinking about us instead of yourselves and how to make yourselves rich, because that's what I'm sick of. That's what's pissing me off. I don't work for much money as it stands. And I get this in my mailbox. Who the hell do you people think you are? This is not Las Vegas. You understand that? You better learn to live in the freaking here and now and stop robbing people like me. I don't work for much money. I tried to save up what I can, and I think I can do that without your permission. It's absolutely ridiculous as to what this place has become. And then you start with these guys? Are you kidding? Not a good idea. And this is a blatant insult. You claim that you want to make this place more affordable? I haven't seen it. Anybody can say anything just to get elected. And I don't like Democrats at all. You're all a bunch of hypocrites, you're all a bunch of terrorists, and I'm going to give you another warning too. This state is going to be under investigation for election fraud. You all better be looking behind you, because that hell is coming for every last one of you right now.
Please wrap up, sir. Thank you.
I just did.
Please. John Addis.
Let's answer you. I think I can see in abundance the many of the Yannick firemen and women that are in here right now. Each and every one of these individuals that you, sir, and this council, Mr. Solomon and Mr. DeLucia, have blatantly disrespected. Blatantly. This is not an accident. These people have every right, have every damn right to voice their concerns. And a lot of what's been said from them is exactly what the hell's going on here. This is nothing but a damn selective power grab. And you think that we're fools, and you think that we can't see that, and you obviously think that they can't see it either. I've heard that these men and these women, I've heard stories where I work at a bar and a restaurant, and I've heard stories, countless, of how many calls that they've had and how many calls that they've responded to. Yannick, in my opinion, has reached critical mass. Since the shutdown of the fire station, it takes too long, mathematically, that I've done the calculations, you haven't done any, I obviously have. It would take an average of 8 minutes from any local fire station, apparatus to get to Yantic. That is just 8 minutes too long. If that person in Yantic's having a heart attack, by the time an outside company gets them, they're going to be as good. Those person will, odds of 1 in 10, be dead. Are you going to take the blame for that when that happens? No, you won't. No, you won't, because you're too busy living in your ivory towers, and you think that you're untouchable. As far as it goes with me, with each and every one of you, like a great rock group would say, The Who, meet the new boss, same as the old boss. Same garbage, different day. And as far as it goes with me, with every one of these individuals, men and women from the Yannick Fire Department, each and every one of you in this room owes them an apology. But no, you won't apologize. I know you won't, because you all have yellow streaks running down your backs. You're too busy being concerned with dollar signs in your eyes. And you think that I can't see that, and you think they can't see it either. We're tired of being played like chess pieces. You've done nothing but play us for fools for years and years, and we're sick of it.
Please wrap up, sir.
We'll wrap up as soon as you apologize to these people, to the firemen and women in this room. Show them what kind of guts you have. You apologize to them right now.
Have is John Paul Marine.
Excuse me. Thank you. John Paul Marine, 60 Mediterranean Lane. To say that I'm disappointed in the recent events with the City Fire Service and the Yannick Fire Company would be a great understatement. With the hiring of the new chief 1 year ago, a system that seems to have been functioning quite well is now broken beyond repair. Really? I do know that the city manager and the city council president pro tem have had issues with the volunteers, and I'm really not completely sure why. Is it an operational or a financial or both? If it's operational, it should be spelled out exactly what procedures need to be improved, upon and identify whether it's, the command is centralized or if it's universal. I'm sorry. Anyways, there's a difference. If the paid fire chief is to oversee all of the volunteer houses, then centralized command is what it is, not unified command. And that's exactly and I'm not sure what exactly prompted this. What major problem is going on that needs to be solved? If solid reasoning cannot be spelled out, then it seems to me there might be some other issues or perhaps incidents that are not being discussed in public. Is there a good reason that people that are being affected by this have no say in what's going on with these changes? Or is it the changes do speak going ahead, what's going to make these changes work? It raises a question of transparency. Transparency would be nice. Is it financial? The average salary of a paid firefighter is $64,060. I requested information on the salary of the top 3 firefighters in Norwich. The amounts are $180,000, $139,000, $137,000. Well, that probably is overtime. In any event, I see the lights flashing here, and I don't want to take up too much more time, but I know if they're going to get the city taxes spread out, that's going to really clobber everybody in all the other neighborhoods. And when Chief Wilson was an interim chief in Wallingford in 2024, the town council pushed for an independent operational review. Chief Wilson's position was that review was unnecessary and stated, these reviews never actually get put into play because there is significant costs associated with them, and you have to match the service delivery with what the town is willing to pay. So, it seems to me that there might be a little bit more going on here than meets the eye. Mr. Mayor, make Norwich affordable. Make Norwich affordable. Make Norwich affordable. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take our last one. We have ran out on time. We have 1 minute left. Laura Jane.
Good evening.
May I have a request, please? We need to extend a little more.
No.
No, Mr. Belushi, you are at the swing.
Please maintain decorum, otherwise we'll have to stop right here. Please make your comments. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Alora, and I speak tonight as a resident and support member for the Yantic Firehouse. I am here because of the shutdown of Yantic Fire Engine Company. It is not an administrative detail. It is a public safety crisis for our neighborhood and a wound to the community institution. It has been heartbreaking to watch the firehouse emptied of its trucks and equipment. I've seen these volunteers run to calls with the same urgency and care, whether it was a house fire or a neighborhood in medical distress. They do this not for the money, but because they care, because they love this community. To see them unable to do their job they train for and love is deeply devastating. Yantic members have always taken training seriously. Every volunteer, including new recruits, is trained by the book to meet safety standards. Their dedication to training and to each other is why our neighborhood has relied on them for generations. My primary concern is response time and continuity of care. Removing a local company from dispatch risks slower responses, loss of local scene knowledge, and gaps in coverage, while apparatuses are still relocated. This is not hypothetical. This is a real risk to lives and property of our community. This shutdown is super unfair given that Yantic has given to Norwich for 179 years, and that's something that will never go out of style. Not only is it a huge disgrace and disrespectful, but at the last public safety meeting, we were told by Wilson we had his utmost respect. Yet last week, many of us were not even given the acknowledge of speaking. Respect means listening and looking at us in the eye and treating us as our concerns matter. And as we know, that did not happen. Yantic is more than a station, it is family. We want coordinated professional fire services, but we also want fairness, transparency, and respect for our volunteers who have protected us for generations. Please give us assurances that we need for our safety will not be compromised and that our people who have served us will be treated with the dignity they deserve. It is a disservice to the entire community and abruptly to shut down as so. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion to adjourn. It's been seconded. Please sit down. Mr. Mayor, roll call.
The code of ethics.
Motion to adjourn on the
Say
table.
that you work for us.
Please.
You work for
Roll
us.
call, please.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
I can take it after that.
Please.
Thank you.
Alderman Hayes? Alderman Kadambaya?
Yes.
Zucardi?
Yes.
Alderman Nystrom? No. President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Have you recorded Alderman Nash? Motion passes 5 to.
Don't stop her, you'll be on social media.
John, we will have another meeting next month. You're most welcome to come.